Okay, Ford YT16 electric fuel pump conversion is now finished. I was looking at doing a mechanical fuel pump yet again, but the cost of the mechanical fuel pump is ridiculous for these. For a small piece of plastic with a diaphragm and two little valves, $115. That is ridiculous. The ones for the newer engines, the newer Kohler engines, the twins, the V-twins, only like 25 bucks. I don't get why the part like that for this particular engine would be so expensive. I couldn't even find one on eBay, could not find one on Amazon. So I had this electric fuel pump sitting around. This one was on the racer. It seems to be working fine on this tractor. So with the old fuel pump, I'll show that in a second. But here, really no cuts for any of the wiring. There was an existing wire right here, most likely for the electric deck lift, which this machine does not have. So I was able to come off that wire right here. It's a key on source, made a little jumper wire going from there to the fuel pump. So if you ever had to unhook the fuel pump really fast, you could do it right there without turning off the key, or obviously have the key off. But if you have to diagnose and you want it disconnected, right there. And new fuel lines is coming up right to the back of the fuel pump right here and up the top. I did try and change the direction of this right here, so I was originally going to put the fuel pump right at the front, but two of the three screws on here are stripped, so the heads of them are stripped, so I could not change the direction of the fuel pump. So anyways, fuel line just comes up around the front and straight into the carburetor. I reused one of these straight in fittings off the old fuel pump. So originally it angled to the back, so now it goes straight into the carburetor and we're good to go. Okay, here is the original fuel pump. All I did was I left the diaphragm in place and I bolted the original top cover on. I put 2 bolts in each end with some RTV. Unfortunately, I lost the bolt for this bottom corner right here. It fell down behind the intake manifold and it's pretty much gone. If I end up finding it in the future, I'll stick it back in, but really there's no need for it. All that is just protecting any dirt from getting into the engine. Another way you could have did this is cross loop them, but I wanted to keep those 2 fittings, so I did it like this. All you got left to do is put the air filter back on, put the little breather tube back in, and hook up the PCV valve and the deck. Then this machine will be done. I gotta change the oil, but that's simple. But we'll see if it fire back up. It does like choke when it starts, possibly because it's still a little on the cold side out here, and this machine was sitting for a little while. There might be a little bit of junk in the carburetor. Only problem I ran into, I forgot to bleed the fuel system, and it would not start because it can't pump air. So, but once I bled it, it fired up fine. So let's see what happens. And right now it's not wanting to super low idle, I think because the air intake's off. In the winter time when it was about -15 out here, this thing would just putt right at the extremely low idle, and it would be perfectly fine. But one other thing I may do is the headlights, reconnect them, see if they work. And this machine really, what Musty One calls it as a restoration. That's kind of what I'm doing on this machine here. I'm not restoring it. It's not really worth being restored. I'm just getting it functioning and getting it back out so it can do what it's designed to do. So Ford YT16 almost done. There'll probably be one more video on this machine and then it's done. Hopefully it will find a new home and it will be out the door. So I'll talk to them later. Please keep it redneck like always, and please try and comment.